Hey, welcome to the show, Leading and Growing Your Real Estate Business. This is Coach James Short, aka Shorty, and this is a show for those within the real estate industry wanting to lead and grow their real estate business. It's a series of interviews that we conduct for those within the industry. So we're finding out what those leaders are within the industry, what makes them tick, what's their story, what are their strategies, and how to become the leaders and the growers within the industry. But also, it's an interview series with those outside of the industry. I'm always a big believer of looking at a whole different part of the pie rather than just focusing on one part of the pie. Because what it does, it allows you to have a different perspective, allows you to get snippets or golden nuggets from those outside of the industry that can look in the industry and go, there's a different perspective. And so I encourage you to reach out to the guests. I encourage you to lean into these series to find out how can these pieces of information, experiences, stories help you lead and grow your real estate business. Hi, and welcome back to another edition. Yes, a new edition of Shorty's Got Some Specs. Haven't been to, wasn't Specsavers. It was a good friend of mine, Bailey and Nelson in Byron Bay. So if you want an upgrade of, can actually read now and actually see. So look out. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're driving, pull over. Get a pen and paper out because this next guest is a game changer. Derek Morgan, referral marketing strategist and B2B growth expert. Derek is a leading expert in referral marketing and B2B lead generation, helping business owners, sales professionals, and networking communities unlock the power of strategic partnerships. As the founder of referralmarketingideas.com, go and check that out after this. It is huge. And the driving force behind Referit App, I'm going to share a little bit more with you about that shortly. Derek specializes in helping businesses generate warm, high converting leads through trusted referrals without relying on expensive ads or cold outreach. With background in business coaching, networking, and strategic alliances, Derek has developed proven frameworks that empower businesses to grow their revenue through word of mouth marketing, referral partnerships, and affiliate strategies. His innovative approach focuses on the cost of inaction, COI. I'm looking forward to unpacking that a little bit shortly, helping businesses understand the hidden losses of not leveraging referral networks. Derek regularly speaks at business networking groups, chambers of commerce, and industry events where he educates and inspires audience of how to build sustainable, relationship-driven lead generation systems. His insights have helped countless professionals turn their network into their net worth by creating profitable referral ecosystems. Whether working with coaches, consultants, recruiters, or business owners, Derek provides practical strategies that transform passive connections into active, engaged referrers. If you're looking to scale your business through strategic alliances and referral-driven growth, Derek Morgan is the expert. You need to hear from him. Check him out at referralmarketingideas.com or LinkedIn at Referral Marketing Ideas. His app is a game changer. I've been using it personally. It is just blowing my mind. I'm looking forward to unpacking it all and a lot more. Derek, so good to have you on the show, mate. Thank you for your time and welcome.
Hey, Shorty, thanks for having me, mate. I really appreciate it. I was feeling pretty relaxed on this early morning catch up, but now after that intro, I'm feeling somewhat pressured.
No
Set some
pressure, mate. Two
expectations,
mates
mate.
having a chat. Two mates having a chat.
Excellent, excellent.
Oh, where do we start, mate? I'm so curious to find out your journey and how you've got to where you are today because it has been a journey and what you are offering through your programs and also the app, they are game changers. So how has it led to where you're at? Share us that journey, will you please?
Yeah, look, I guess it comes down to undiagnosed ADHD. I mean, I started out as a diesel fitting mechanic in the bush, and that was a 4 year cycle. And I went, I can't do this for the rest of my life. So then I jumped into financial services, and then over the years I've gone into services, and then technology sales and financial services, and so I've always had to basically start over again and build networks, and it's my own fault. Yeah, you could just invest in the garden you've already you're already growing, but no, that wasn't my journey, which has its challenges, but it also, like everything, as you know, has its advantages from a learning experience. Just don't be like me and learn the same lessons over and over and over for the number of decades.
But it's
Yeah.
interesting though, like what I'm hearing though, all those different industries and all those different avenues all comes back to relationships, all comes back to building networks. Is that fair call?
Yeah, absolutely. And you're probably even seeing it more now and it becoming more important. It's always been important. We're in the business of dealing with humans, regardless of what business we're in, unless we're sitting in a back room coding. Um, you know, and what we've seen is this whole marketing process of outreach to cold leads at scale on automation, which is just pounding the daylights out of our prospects. So they're all frazzled. So now they're actually even more so looking for, who do I know, like, and trust that can give me a recommendation, that can connect me up with the right people, that can just shortcut the process. I can go do my research online and then go, yeah, I do want to have a chat with this person. Then that becomes an inbound lead, as opposed, and permission marketing, as opposed to this knock down the doors with the phones and the email. Hmm.
Yeah, so true, so true. And you mentioned about, the whole outreach and leads, ads and so forth. Where do you think a lot of people get it wrong in relation to thinking, I'm going to ask someone for a referral, or where do you think people get it wrong with referral marketing and referral marketing strategies? Where's that biggest friction that most people face?
I think it's message to market, right? In most of the business networking events that I go to, most business owners and salespeople have this perception that, everyone's my marketplace. We can serve so many different industries, therefore we're agnostic. And that may well be true. You may be able to serve in a lot of different industries or verticals, but the challenge is for somebody to refer, it just confuses them. So when you're going out into a marketplace or into a networking event, you really want to have a framework and a clear strategy about how you get a clear message across to the people that you're talking to, that's relevant and contextual, that they can easily remember, and then give them a framework for them to easily refer. And I mean, you've probably got frameworks to do this. Do you? Yeah. So I think that's the biggest challenge for people. The four biggest problems we see in referral marketing are not being clear on who your ideal client is, not clearly articulating that message in either your marketing or your networking, your 40-second intro, or your ask in networking groups as to who you want to be referred to, and then giving them an easy message that they can remember, that they can actually connect you up properly. And then the fourth one's follow up. And the
Mm.
fourth one's a massive one, because people are hyperactive networking, but they're not hyperactive on the follow up.
So true, right? It's the machine gun approach, but then there's nothing comes from it. And I think just want a couple of those key points there. I think, obviously those listening to this, a majority in the real estate space. And I think what I say time and time again is those who either have a specific niche and target of that for those sales agents that they prospect to compare, and then for those who have an area, I think it's really important, as you said, to have that either area or niche, because your messaging comes through, your language comes through on so many different factors. It's a real productive and proactive approach compared to the scattergun approach. Would that be a fair call?
Yeah, exactly. And I think if we draw a distinction between referral marketing versus getting referred leads, because
Mm.
they're worlds apart, there's a big chasm gap. So most people, they're running their businesses on referrals, but it's referred leads. So they don't have a strategy in place. They don't have systems in place. They don't have tactics to execute on and take action on consistently that ensures that they get consistent referrals. They're just coming in ad hoc. So referral marketing, in my mind, is having those strategies, tactics, and frameworks that you can execute consistently yourself and your team. But more importantly, you can create referral partnerships that are aligned and value-added relationships, because getting referrals from customers is a one-to-one process, and customers are typically not good referrers because it's just not their mindset typically. Whereas your referral partners are working with your ideal customer profile. So then if you can add value into their systems and processes, all of a sudden, every time they go to market, you're top of mind. You're part of that conversation. So you get referrals coming through consistently. And I think that's one of the biggest missed opportunities in business networking as we do it right now, as most people do it right now.
I totally agree with that. And I think it's a really big point. And I've seen time and time again, people go out to networking events and go, "Oh yeah, cool. You could be a really good referral partner," and they start a conversation and then they just wait and hope. Where when we're talking about referral partnerships, what are some of the things that people can do or look for to create these referral partnerships and really have a great success of developing those relationships?
I think if you look one at your own marketing and sales and customer engagement process, and then parallel look at your potential referral partners roadmap, right? So I'm going to use some acronyms and language, and I'll try and unpack that, and hopefully we can get to a standardized point of anchor the conversation. But we've got top of funnel, which is tofu, mufu, bofu is acronyms that get thrown around. But you've got
Love it.
top of funnel. This is your lead generation strategy. So when you're talking partnerships, how do you add value to their top of funnel process so that you become part of their go-to market strategy from a lead generation perspective? Their middle of funnel process, some businesses have long buying cycles. So, if you don't have the right property, if we use property as an example, if you don't have the right property in your portfolio right now, then you're working with that client for quite some time until you find just the right property. So, it's really a partnership engagement process. It's not well, I've got all these houses, I'm just going to sell you one. No, if it's not the right property, they're not buying, right? End of story. So, if you can become part of their lead generation strategy, then you get lots of engagement, and then you've got to filter that out. But they're all your ideal clients, right? So it's a scale strategy with partners. Then if you can add value to their middle of funnel, their bottom of funnel, or their customer success, their quarterly business reviews, or whatever their ongoing engagement is with that client, then all of a sudden you're top of mind at every part of the process. So what is it that you lead with value? What is it that you can do for them that adds value to them and their clients, or adds value to their clients through them and ultimately them? Is it a rewards program? Is it digital assets? Is it physical assets? Is it helping them with events? How do you partner up with somebody that has your common ideal customer profile so that you can share marketing budget, for example? So we've got two technology companies as an example working right now, looking at, they're both running events. Well, how do they run joint events so they can run twice as many events because they're only spending half of the budget, but they're bringing the same clients and complementary partners into the same room? So just taking the time, I guess, as a very long-winded answer to your question, but taking the time to actually get to know your referral partner, profile them as well so you know exactly who you're going out to look for, and then taking the time to actually really analyze their business, think about how you fit into their processes rather than trying to get them to change something. And the number one mistake most sales people do when it comes to referral partnerships is they're looking at the partner and all they see is list written across their head. And all they're trying to do is get their list. And that's the worst way to start a partnership conversation. So lead with value. Conversations go faster. Partnerships and client deals close faster, and everyone's happier.
Hey guys, just a little side note here. How's it going? Are you on track this year? I know that sometimes this part of the year we can feel like we're in a bit of a grind, a bit of in the trenches. Are you on track from the original plans that you set out for the rest of this year? What I've realized is that between with this time of year, we get so distracted and we've got trying to chase so many shiny balls and go down so many rabbit holes. And that's why I created a program called the 90. It's a framework that actually allows you to achieve more in 90 days than ever before. Some of the feedback that we've got from some of the people that have used the process, the 90, is that they've achieved more in 90 days than the whole previous year. So if you'd like to have the tools, have the techniques, have the framework on the 90, so you and your team can achieve more in 90 days than ever before. What it does, and it impacts you of how to get clear, what you need to do, and who you need to be to show up in order to achieve the things you want to achieve over the next 90 days. Simply head over to jamesshort.com.au, click on join the waitlist, fill in your details, and one of the team members will be in touch and take you through the 90 framework. On with the show. I love that because that's a real mindset shift because so often you see, okay, cool. Yeah, here we go. We're going to create this partnership. And then people wait and expect their referral partner to give them information or to give them a referral rather than, as you said, is lead with that value. How can I add value to my referral partner and all those different processes of the funnel? And I think that is a real mindset shift where it's like taking the emphasis of what's in it for me compared to what's in it. How can I provide value for those referral partners out there that's going to make them look even better with their clients and their network as they're like, wow, look at this person, this referral partner is giving me all this value that I can share or do things with rather than take. And I think that
Yeah,
is the biggest mindset shift that people need to get their head around to develop these referral partners.
yeah,
You mentioned about the IT companies and building events and so forth, which I think that's a game changer of once again, I believe it's the formula of 1 + 1 = 4 when it comes to building networks and strategies and so forth. Can you share some other examples with that looked at, well, how can we're servicing the same type of clientele. How can we work together to get a bigger reach, to have a bigger impact and to create more value? Can you share maybe 1 or 2 examples of things like the IT companies that have shifted their mindset to create further value?
yeah. I mean, if we look at uh, event managers partnering with their exhibitors to provide extra value. I mean, there's there's a lot of process around at the moment for capturing leads in a very generic way, and every exhibitor at a conference or an event gets the same Excel spreadsheet, and then you know the poor attendee gets smashed by campaign
That's
emails
right, everywhere.
everywhere, right? So, having for an event coordinator to sit down and be able to provide a more customized experience for each business and the attendees at those events is another way. And I mean, some of these partnership strategies, they do become a little more complex. So
Mm.
giving brief examples can be a little bit of a challenge. But I guess one thing, coming back to your point and our discussion around lists, it's having that mindset shift of partnerships, referral partnerships need to be a joint exchange of value, and that's how they start quickly. They survive initially, and then they thrive long term. Yeah. So, but you know, from a I'm just trying to think on my feet here. From a property, a, real estate. We've been using that real estate analogy. So a real estate agent could actually be bringing two different groups of individuals, like a financial planner and a mortgage broker, together, and he can be the facilitator of having a system and a framework for running events. So it becomes easy for the financial planner and the mortgage broker to invite people to that event. Oh, he just happens to be the event coordinator, manager, and host, or whatever it is, right? So you're not asking people to give you their list to go and market to, but you're bringing them into a value-added event, as an example. Um,
Love
that's
it.
Yeah. So that
Love
that
it.
would be another strategy.
I think that's so important, and if it's an event or even collaboration on
Mm.
even bring other people in for coffees and go, how can we add value to each other's clientele? I think it's a huge game changer because once again, it's shifting the mindset. How do we add value, and how do we look at those different strategies? One of the things that you mentioned was follow up, and I'm a big believer of fortune is in the follow up.
Yep.
Where do people fall down and don't get it right in relations to follow up? What are the things? What do you think is the roadblocks of why people necessarily don't follow up as consistently as they should?
Systems and processes.
Mm.
They don't. They're doing so many different things in so many different areas, and that's not their fault. That's just the way the market is, and that you have to do. And by that I mean the biggest challenge with business networking is that people are out there doing breakfast, lunches, and dinners. They're doing they're doing in-person events, they're doing industry events, they're doing online networking events. Every different community has a different process or no process.
Yep.
And then typically, once a connection is made, the person on the other end doesn't have a process. So for you to get success, you need to have a standard strategy, tactics, and actions that you can take consistently to compensate for all these siloed processes, data, and that's the biggest challenge. CRM doesn't solve that challenge at the initial lead generation, personal networking, business development side of things. Solves that problem definitely once an opportunity comes in and it gets put into the sales pipeline, gets reported to management, and now it's on everyone's radar. But so I guess the fact that so much information is sitting in referrals, are sitting in email, they're sitting in LinkedIn messages, they're sitting in WhatsApp messages, they're sitting in SM messages. So stuff comes over the top of it really quickly. And it's like, James mentioned, introduced me to somebody, but where was it? Was it in email? Was it in LinkedIn? Was it in WhatsApp? Was it
It's
in,
so true.
whatever? So people then just go, the next thing comes in, the next thing comes in
Yep.
the email inbox, and therefore it gets forgotten. The biggest issue, or not the biggest issue, the thing that people doesn't get them focusing on that business networking having a better process is the fact that they actually don't understand or see what the opportunity cost is in not following up. So
Mm.
I was doing some fractional business development for a SaaS startup. I got an MSP who was a big player. I got a consultant who was a big player. I got them all around a boardroom. I put them together, facilitated the relationship. So there's the referral. Now, boys, it's your job to go off and make hay. 2 years later, I actually went to work inside that technology company, going through their CRM. Oh, there's the consultant's contact. What's happened in those last 2 years? Crickets, nothing. So
Oh,
I went and had two coffees with that consultant, and within 6 months, that technology business had written $11.2 million worth of contracted business in 6 months. So
wow.
if we just work backwards and go, well, that was a 6 month success run rate, that's $42 million in lost opportunity cost over the previous 2 years because nobody followed up.
Wow.
But that opportunity cost was invisible to the business. The leads, the partnership opportunities, and the things that people are walking past right now in pursuit of the next cold net new lead
Yeah.
is staggering, but it's invisible. So I can put a $42 million opportunity cost in one example. Every business has those lost opportunity costs sitting in their business right now. They're just not looking for them. It's not identified, therefore it's not on their radar.
Love it. Love it. That's gold right there. And I think is this where now leading into the follow-up and having it into one place where the Referit app and platform has come to life because I've been playing around with it. I'm loving it. I'm knees deep in it, creating profiles and referring and just having one place, not multiple places, one place where you can send referrals, receive referrals, have conversations. Is this where this frustration that you've seen on SMSs and emails and messages all took place and the reasons why you guys have built this?
Yeah, well, the product owner is a friend of mine of 25 years, Mike Beachy Head. So we spent a lot of years in financial services together. And then we both went into tech in different ways. And unbeknown to us, we then came back together and started collaborating around some technology Mike had built back in 2015. And part of that, part of that technology was connecting up because we were in financial services and specifically business succession and estate planning. So when you get into that, there's lots of people involved and there's lots of cross relationships, either known or independently. And we needed to bring everybody together in one place to collaborate around that business succession planning process. But then out of that came this, well, we're building these financial services businesses on networks, no ad budget, no marketing budget. It's just all relationship based. And we went, but it's messy. So then Mike's gone and built Referit App. And then, we know that technology doesn't sell itself. You can have great technology that doesn't get adopted, and then you can have a mediocre competitor that goes crazy because it gets good adoption, right? But it's nowhere near as good at technology. So that's when we went, okay, Referit App is the platform that you turnkey that makes all of your referral marketing and referral partnership management really easy. And then the referral marketing formula is the conversation we have with the marketplace around, and the value added conversation we have with everybody. You can take our formula ideas and strategies and go and DIY it, or you can turnkey it with the technology. So yeah, I think I might have gone the ADHD thing and run down a rabbit warren. Not sure if I
No,
answered.
perfect. Yeah, it's perfect. That was perfect. Love it. So, Derek, on the show, we have our 60-second quiz to find out a little bit more about our guests. Are you willing to play?
Game on.
Here we go. All right. Favorite movie?
Yeah, Life of Brian.
Love it. Favorite food?
Uh, Anything from the Mediterranean.
Ooh, love it. Favorite holiday destination?
The Mediterranean.
What's your
Or snow skiing.
nice. Okay, cool. What's your morning routine?
Get up, go for a walk, listen to a podcast and or an audio book. And yeah, I should be doing more goal setting and planning. I've got to get better at that.
Nice. What's your evening routine?
Evening routine, early to bed because I'm up relatively early. So yeah, just try and switch off for a couple of hours before I go to bed, and not just be always on. So my wife's always slapping me for being always on.
Love it. Do you have a most embarrassing moment?
Yeah, when I was in my late teens, I went to a sporting event function and found that I'd gone to sleep somewhere nobody had noticed. And when I woke up, I was locked in the Masonic Club. Couldn't get
As you
out.
do, as you do.
So yeah, that was
Uh,
pretty embarrassing.
I love it. If you could choose five inspirational people to have dinner with, who would they be? They could be dead or alive.
Um, Interesting. Caesar, Julius Caesar, um, Tony Robbins, Russell Brunson. Who's some that there's a whole bunch of dead people. Napoleon Hill. That's four, isn't it?
Yep, one more.
One more. Brendan Bouchard.
Fantastic. If you were Prime Minister for the day, what's one thing that you would change?
Oh, that's a difficult one because you're dealing with so much social psychology. There's so many things I think need to change, but I'm not sure our prime ministers are really equipped. So can I take a hard pass on
Yeah,
that one?
yeah, that's right. That's totally fine. What's your best piece of advice?
Um, more less is more. Slow down and be more strategic. Um, because we're all missing a whole lot of opportunities because we're running so hard. We're running past the goal that's sitting in our existing network or our existing business model. And just AI is a massive value add, but from a marketing perspective, it's going to create some massive problems. Be careful, make sure that you're building private lists, private networks that you control. Um, yeah.
Yeah, nice. And so what's on the cards? What's on the plans for you over these next 12 months? What do you got going on?
So from a technology perspective, we've got some big partnership relationships that we're going to market with right now. We've got our AI partner matching tools that we will be progressively releasing over 2025. So that's helping you do your networking with your internal networks, but also across our broader community. So that's pretty exciting. And yeah, I'm off to Vegas in a couple of weeks. So
Fantastic.
for a
That'll be
conference, so
fun.
that should be fun.
That'll be good. And how can the audience find out more and get in contact?
Just jump into the show notes or the description below, and there will be the links that you need, whether it's to refer it, whether it's to the referral marketing ideas and formula, or whether it's to me on LinkedIn.
Awesome. Derek, really appreciate your time, energy, and expertise today. Mate, we could be talking for hours. There's so many possibilities, and I'm looking forward to getting you back again. And we're going a little bit deeper next time. So, once again, thank you for your time today.
Perfect. Excellent. Thanks. Cheers, James.